Well, I'm so excited to see you back here for week 4, day 1. It's already week 4. Here we are. It is LangGraph week as we really change things up. LangGraph thinks about the universe differently. We're going to have a great old time, but it's going to require some different ways of thinking about things, but we're going to have fun. The project this week is particularly good. At the end of it, there's something really fun to show you with real business value that I've had business value from this already myself, from this project that we built. But generally, I want to say that this week, week 4, is actually quite a short week because I feel like we've got deep into OpenAI Agents SDK and Crew, and we've done a lot that's covered familiar ground. And now the things that we do, both actually with LangGraph and with AutoGen, it's going to have a lot in common. We're not going to need to go into quite the same amount of detail. So we'll be moving a bit more briskly through, but I'll be giving you plenty of the briefing and giving you the ability to go off and build your own projects with LangGraph if it happens to tick the right boxes for you. All right, let's get into it. But before we even get into LangGraph, I know what you're thinking. You're confused. You're confused about LangChain and LangGraph, and maybe also confused about LangSmith, if you've heard of that. It is the trio of products offered by LangChain, and you may be unclear about how LangGraph fits into it and why aren't we going through LangChain? And it would be a great question, and it's one that I intend to clarify for you right now. And this is the LangChain ecosystem, and I could think of no better way of showing it than by taking little snapshots from their website. So LangChain is where it began. It's been around for many years now, and it was one of the earliest of the abstraction frameworks that was there. And its initial kind of raison d'etre was that if you were building very bespoke integrations with different APIs, it was painful. And if you needed to change, say from using GPT to using Claude, you had to redo a lot of work. And so they had the idea of building abstractions. Then when it turned out that a lot of people were writing applications which involved a call to an LLM followed by another, it sort of turned into this idea of chaining together your calls. And LangChain really took root and became something that's quite advanced and supports things like RAG. For people that do my LLM engineering course, we use LangChain for a RAG implementation. It supports things like prompt templates, a sort of high-level construct built on top of prompting. It supports memory in a very robust way, allowing you to build memory that you keep in memory, or that you keep in RAM, or that you persist in a database. And it has various memory models, not unlike the things that we saw from Crew. But there's a bit more stuff there are a few more abstractions and things to learn about. They also have their own declarative language, LCEL, as well. So there's a lot of depth to LangChain, and it's really building a kind of engineering discipline around the art of working with LLMs, and putting some scaffolding and some templates and some solidified code with things like good prompt practices around calling LLMs. And it's been extremely successful in that regard. It also allows you to do things like abstract using tools. And so from that point of view, it does in fact support building agentic infrastructure. So you can use LangChain, and you can use LangChain's workflows to build agent platforms. But it sort of predates the recent explosion and excitement with agents, and so it's working at a more simplistic level. It's not their main agent platform offering. It's more of their glue code for building any application using LLMs. Now, you probably heard me say that I have something of a love-hate relationship with LangChain. I definitely appreciate its power and the way that with very little code indeed, you can get up and running with a lot of functionality, like building a RAG pipeline in like 4 lines of code. Having said that, I do also see some drawbacks, and it's very similar to the drawbacks I was talking about with the more opinionated aspects of Crew. It's that by signing up for a lot of the abstractions and a lot of the glue code that comes in the box with LangChain, you're signing up for their way of doing things, and you have a bit less visibility into the actual prompts going on behind the scenes. And over time, the APIs into LLMs has become more and more similar. Anthropic is a little bit of an odd one out, but everybody else has really converged on OpenAI's endpoints and on their structure. And so it's become extremely simple to interact directly with LLMs. And handling memory is something that is also very simple to do yourself, because memory is really just the JSON blob of the conversations that you've had with the model. And so you can handle that JSON yourself. You can persist it as you want. You can combine memory in different ways. And so I see in some projects, there's less need to sign up for a big ecosystem around, say, persisting memory. But again, there are pros and cons. There's definitely strong benefits to working with LangChain and with all of the significant engineering and problems that have already been solved that comes with it. Okay, so that's LangChain and my mini rant. Thank you for putting up with that. Let's go on to talk about what is LangGraph then. So on the website, this is how it's positioned: run at scale with LangGraph platform. And as we'll talk about in a minute, LangGraph platform is actually one of the parts of LangGraph, but LangGraph itself is a bit bigger than that. So it's confusing on the website that they really push LangGraph platform in this way. But let me tell you what I think LangGraph is. LangGraph is a separate offering from the company LangChain, from the same people. It actually is independent from LangChain. So whilst when you're working with LangGraph, you can use LangChain code to actually call LLMs and to do various things with LLMs, you can do, it's optional. You can really use any framework, or you can just call LLMs directly with LangGraph. LangGraph is all about a platform that focuses on stability, resiliency, and repeatability in worlds where you're solving problems that involve a lot of interconnected processes, like an agentic platform. So it's an abstraction layer that allows you to organize your thinking around a workflow of different activities that could have feedback loops. It could have times when humans need to get involved. It could have moments when you need to keep memory. And it allows you to organize all of that in a very repeatable and easily monitored and stable and scalable way. That's what LangGraph is. And the word graph gives some of it away, that it's all built around graphs, graphs being kind of tree structures of how to think about your workflow. So it imagines all workflows, anything that you might have going between agents in the form of a tree of nodes which are connected together, which represent different things that can happen at different points in your agentic workflow. And by thinking of it in this abstract way and by putting sort of belts and braces around each point in this graph, they're able to bring stability and resiliency to a world that is a bit unpredictable and has people have resiliency concerns about agentic AI. So that's really their approach. That's the problem they're trying to solve. And you can see if you read the detail there, that they're saying you use this to design agent-driven user experiences featuring things like human in the loop, multi-agent collaboration, conversation history, memory, and what they call time travel, which is all about being able to checkpoint where you are in the process and being able to step backwards if you need to restore where you were as of any point in time. Deploy with tolerant scalability, fault-tolerant scalability, meaning that anything can go down and it will keep running. And that's a bit of the LangGraph platform thrown in there. So that's what LangGraph is all about. It's not related, it's not necessarily related to LangChain. It is a framework for robustly running complex agent workflows, giving you that kind of stability and monitoring. Although I used the word monitoring there, and that was perhaps the wrong word to use. It gives the ability to monitor, but it doesn't actually do the monitoring itself, because LangChain has a third product called LangSmith, which is their kind of monitoring tooling. And LangGraph connects with LangSmith, so you can use LangSmith to monitor what's going on in your LangGraph graph. But LangSmith is a separate offering, and LangSmith can be used when working with LangChain or with LangGraph. And we will use LangSmith. We will use that so that we can see things going on. And it gives you, as it says here, visibility into your calls and your reasoning to quickly debug failures. So that is how the different products line up. It is a bit confusing because you can use LangChain to build agent workflows. It has an abstraction layer over things like tool calling, but LangGraph is the core offering that's the modern offering that's designed to meet the excitement of today's agentic AI. And the particular thing that they're focused on is the kind of scaling in a resilient, robust, repeatable way. So there's one more thing to mention, one more way in which it's just slightly more complicated. And that is that LangGraph itself is in fact three different things. As I alluded to this already. But LangGraph is in fact LangGraph itself, which is also thought of as the LangGraph framework. It's a user interface tooling called LangGraph Studio, which is one of these kinds of ways that you can hook things up visually, so like a visual builder. And it's something called LangGraph Platform, which is the thing that they're sort of promoting on their website as if that is LangGraph. LangGraph Platform, which is their hosted solution for deploying and running your agents at scale. So LangGraph, which is the framework, which is analogous to CrewAI's framework. LangGraph Studio, I think in Crew it was also called CrewAI Studio, right? I think so. And then LangGraph Platform is analogous to CrewAI Enterprise. And so these are the three offerings. And I mean, I think to me, I would make the same point that I made with Crew, which is that what I perhaps part of what's going on here is, of course, LangGraph is looking for ways to commercialize and to monetize their offerings. And so looking for the enterprise play, the LangGraph platform is about deploying and running your LangGraph, your graphs in their environment, taking advantage of the fact that they've got hooks into everything that they've built. So I'm sure that if you have built all of your software using LangGraph, then it will be very convenient to use LangGraph platform. But I suspect that's what's going on, and I imagine that's why it is sort of promoted and framed so heavily on their site as if LangGraph and LangGraph platform are the same thing. It's probably because this is the core commercial idea for LangChain in building this out. But we are going to be focused, of course, as you can imagine, on LangGraph, the framework, that part of it. That's what we're building to. We're going to be building our own. And we'll also be using Langsmith as well to see what's going on. That's going to be interesting for us too. Now, at this point, I also wanted to do something. I wanted to show you the blog post about building effective agents on Anthropic's website that I mentioned way back in week 1 when we were looking at design patterns. But I think it's interesting and relevant now because it does show Anthropic's sort of positioning on this. And it's useful for you to keep this in mind when you think about the difference between what we're going to do today and what we're going to be doing in week 6. So if we switch to building effective agents, then this is the blog post you'll find on their website. And it's a brilliantly written post, I've got to tell you. It's really clear. It contains within it the different design patterns that I mentioned. I think I mentioned that I took the Anthropic design patterns right from here. I thought they're so clear, so well explained. And in addition to that, it has some discussion about using abstraction layers. And that's really what I wanted to show you here. So it says when and how to use frameworks. So they say there are many frameworks that make agentic systems easier to implement, including LangGraph from LangChain. They mentioned a few others that are not actually so popular and not, as far as I know, although I know of Vellum the business, but I don't think that quite is as big as things like Crew and AutoGen and now OpenAI Agents SDK. But anyway, this is the point I wanted to make. These frameworks make it easy to get started by simplifying standard low-level tasks like calling LLMs, defining and parsing tools, and chaining calls together. However, they often create extra layers of abstraction, and that can obscure the underlying prompts and responses, making them harder to debug. They can also make it tempting to add complexity when a simpler setup would suffice. You can see what Anthropic's getting at. You can imagine from their point of view, they've got an API. They've got something that is relatively simple. Memory can be handled with JSON objects. LLMs can be hooked up simply by calling multiple times. And so for them, this idea of building all of this abstraction around it, taking you further from actually working with the LLM itself, isn't necessarily something that resonates strongly. And so they conclude with, we suggest that developers start by using LLM APIs directly. Many patterns can be implemented in a few lines of code. If you do use a framework, ensure you understand the underlying code. Incorrect assumptions about what's under the hood are a common source of customer error. And by customer, they mean us, customers of Anthropic. So there you go. I found this really interesting. It's obviously very clearly written and something that I'm very passionate about. It is an alternative, different school of thought. It is, of course, somewhat not in sync with the LangGraph philosophy, a thesis of building this kind of structure. So it's interesting to keep that in mind. And of course, in week 6, we're going to see what Anthropic brings to the table in the form of MCP, which is a different way of thinking about it, a protocol for connecting things rather than building the actual glue itself. So I wanted to highlight that and give you that perspective, but it's not going to deter us from getting deep into LangGraph right now.